Good evening, every pony. This is Drata Arcana with Gaming is Magic. Welcome to tonight's stream on deck construction. With me tonight is...
We're discussing our format, and tonight we will be discussing the appropriate matters when it comes to aggro.
Introduce yourself, please.
My name is GiM. I am one of our older starting out members. I've been playing the game since beta. My friends have joined me in then, and we've been playing the game ever since.
And also with us tonight is... Sounds like we're having some tech issues. That was Novakun. You all remember him from last time's stream. Try that again, Nova.
Really having tech issues right now.
Side of the stream.
On the stream, yes, we're going to have tech issues. Once again, folks, we are using Discord, so there may be some hiccups here and there. We really don't have another way of recording audio at the moment. So we're going to try our best to get through this stream with the tech issues. So if you probably didn't get the chance to see, today, actually, we held a draft over in Indianapolis, in our area. And how many sticks were pulled in that draft?
We had 8 of us in total.
I'm pretty sure I've got one.
Novakun got a stick. Oh no! Whatever is he going to do with a stick?
Probably burn it and use it to beat my enemies with.
Yeah, well, anyways, so tonight's stream is about deck construction, and last session we did talk a little bit about types of cards and so forth, and what kinds of things to include in the deck. And actually, guys, sorry, I was on the wrong... So we had some major tech issues. So once again, I apologize to everyone. I actually was not on the right slide to actually record audio. So we're having some major tech issues today for Gaming is Magic. Once again, this is Drata Arcana. With me is Novakun and Zen Lavender. We had a draft today. 2 people pulled Staphis Acanis, and due to the tech issues, I think we're just having a bad day. But we will get through this. So today we are talking about aggro. Who here likes aggro?
Not me. Can't stand aggro. Can't stand it.
But I understand aggro enough to respect it. I know various forms of aggro in this. So we start listening.
Yeah, and we will be getting to the different styles of aggro in this stream. A lot of times when you're deck constructing, it's kind of hard to build a deck. So it's kind of hard to make those choices. But as always, let's start this stream off with a very, very awesome slide. And it is stick times 30. Because why? Why is that, Novakun? Why is stick times 30?
Probably because of all the free power that you get. Probably of all the frighten that you get. It's probably a couple of things, I'd imagine.
So, to explain stick times 30, it basically means that you should have at least 30 sticks in your deck. And it looks like Zen dropped out of the chat, so hopefully he can get back in here. So anyways, Novo, even though you can't run 30 sticks, it's nice to have 30 sticks.
I mean, yeah, it's probably nice to have them all, but really the max that you can run is 3.
We just like the number 0 on there, so that way we can have 10 different decks with stick.
Yeah, you know what? You're right.
Right, that's about the size of it.
So anyways, so let's go ahead and jump into the mains that you would use in an aggro deck. And what better main to do it than from... Go ahead.
I was going to say, let's not jump into the mains or the decks till we actually discuss the fundamentals behind them. What
Good.
is an aggro deck?
Okay, let's go ahead and talk about what really makes an aggro deck. As mentioned in the previous stream, there are essentially 4 different types of decks, and aggro is one of them. Go ahead, Zen. Talk to us about it.
Alright, so to begin off, in an aggro deck, there's multiple ways you can go about being aggro. Aggro is you're putting more power on the board, or you are producing more than your opponent is capable. You are outnumbering consistently. You outnumber them in many ways, whether it be the board itself with multiple creatures with upstats to itself. So like you could have multiple critters or multiple Pegasus friends that have 2 plus power, or
Okay, so eBugle just pointed out, Zen, you're kind of breaking up all over the place. So, Novo, would you like to try to specify what Zen was saying?
I would, but I didn't get any of that. That was mostly garbled.
Okay, like I said, thanks eBugle, we are having...
I think it's my phone that's the issue right now.
Probably. Try to go through that slightly again, Zen.
Did anyone hear me okay?
Yeah, you're breaking up all over the place.
Yeah, I'm not hearing anything from anyone right now, and I can hear the boss's phone.
Okay, so Zen's trying to use his phone to record.
Let's change things up quick.
Okay, I'll try to talk a little bit about aggro here. Aggro, so the way that aggro works is what you want to do is try to overwhelm your opponent with DFOs and multi-problem face-offs, trying to score as many points as you can as quickly as you can. And to accomplish that, you either need to make sure that you're playing friends with a ton of power so you never lose your face-offs, or you're going to be using the smaller friends to play multiple friends to be able to confront and DFO quickly. Now, both strategies are very viable in aggro, and those 2 styles of play are generally the types of aggros that you're going to see. So decks that focus around paying 5 to 6 AT to drop a 5 to 6 power friend are going to be basically confronting and DFOing mid-game to late game. While a smaller aggro deck with multiple friends, you're going to be trying to DFO early on, try to get a creep on your opponent, trying to get multiple confronts per turn.
Hey, real quick, I'm going to interject. I'm going to let Zen use my phone for a bit, because it sounds like my phone might have a better mic.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and let him use your phone, real quick.
Yeah, my phone's garbage right now, so I'm going to go ahead and go from here. Is that going to be okay? Can everyone hear me okay on the end?
Oh, that is so much better. Go ahead. What were you saying, Zen?
Alright, now what I was saying about aggro is a format of swarming or controlling the state of the numbers on the board. One interjection for these numbers would be the flips. Multiple flips is considered aggro in my opinion. It may be my opinion that is considered aggro, but it could also be considered control at the same time. It just depends on how you use it. In the what I consider the mod format, there was out aggroing, getting multiple points using the DJ combo with Penny Lane and Cosmic Bowling, and then there was also the mod combo, which used multiple Earth Ponies to flip additional cards during face-offs. You can flip additional cards during face-offs to not only beat the decks to control it, but you can also use it just as an outnumbered system. Either way, you're outnumbering the opponent one way or another. Go ahead, bud.
Okay, so yeah, so that's essentially what you're trying to do in aggro, is you're trying to outnumber or either outpower your opponent, and that can be accomplished through many different methods. So
not just outnumber. Outpacing is the other major importance. So the board state is also important in aggro. I need to interject real quick. The board state's important in aggro because most definitely blue has shown the most aggro product, with the addition of the Swift mechanic being in its start. Anything that you can do for less is considered aggro as well.
that is true, yeah, and that's one of the things you always want to look for when you're building aggro is what is it that is going to give you the board state to continue to confront. So there's a card in the most recent set called Day Shift. Now this is a very good aggro card because every time a problem replaces, you get to move a friend to each problem. That allows you to, as free movement, to potentially keep your friends at those problems to continue the DFO. So making sure that you can maintain your board state is just as important as Zen said to continue to push that opponent. Now, blue, a lot of people have thought had fallen by the wayside with the new set, but the new aggro deck is looking to be a blue-yellow, but you could also run blue-orange. I've seen that done very effectively as well.
I've seen blue-orange used lots of times before this as well. Blue-orange is simply, I'm going to put Wildfire on the board and move multiple Wildfire, multiple Holly Dash, just to move my Mod and my Applejacks. So I'm paying 2 a turn to move 8+ power.
Yeah, and that's kind of where it's going to probably be good is aggro, being able to move your characters, trying to move 3 or 4 characters every turn to get those DFOs is essential. And in this meta now, where we're pretty much a farming meta, trying to counter troublemakers is really important too. So a lot of aggro decks are switching over to blue-yellow for things like Fluttershy, Pony Pirate, and even to get into Brian's and so forth. But blue-orange is still just as effective to be able to beat over those troublemakers. So let's jump into the mains, the primary mains for aggro, shall we?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Okay, so Skystar, when she was originally printed, was a aggro main. And she's an aggro main not just for the fact that she could spam out 2 tokens, but pink is a very aggroing card. This is a main that's easy to get your hands on. I've got a gazillion of her, so it's easy to get. But she is one of the best aggro cards right now. She's ran in the new version of Hot Wings, which is called Water Wings. Are Novo and Zen, are you guys familiar with Water Wings yet?
Yeah, we're still here. And then the answer to your question would be not for me.
Also, no, it's something I need to be reacquainted with, or acquainted with, to be completely honest.
Okay, so Water Wings is following the primary function of the Hot Wings decks. Water Wings is using Skystar instead of Blue Luna or Scootaloo, and it's still your regular pink blue, but what it's doing is that you're using also toolboxing tools to duplicate multiple tech cards as well. Things like playing Dip in the Pool to copy your Angel Wings so you can get another -2 friend into play. It's running a lot of movement and stuff. It's basically Hot Wings, but because of the core format, if you're playing in core, you don't have access to those problem cards anymore that are like 3 confront, like it's super easy 3 confront. For 3 points, and you don't have that so much anymore in core format. So Water Wings in core is the next Hot Wings deck. In order to build that, you have to balance out your blue and pink. Now talk a little bit about color rec there, Novo.
Just to make sure, you mean color requirement, right?
Yeah, color entry.
So color entry to any deck in existence is always vital. Mostly it's to make sure you balance your color requirements, having low entry cost for your off colors, just making sure that you have your color requirement. If you don't have your color requirement, your deck starts to fail.
And go ahead.
Another added input to the color requirement. You usually want to make sure you have anything that's available on the off color to oppose from your main. Your main's going to always substitute for 3 entry for any of your already existing color, but that should be common sense at that point.
Yeah, and eBugle points out that Hot Wings typically use 2+2 bonus problems. That is true, eBugle. There are a couple problems that Hot Wings did use to that were 3, but they were typically harder to confront. I know that you practically created Hot Wings there, eBugle, so I give you props for that. But so Skystar, what does she do that that enhances the effectiveness of color entry?
Well, Skystar has an instant open. She literally pays for herself plus increases the aggro. She's doing 2 for 7, which is ridiculous.
That kind of is a little ridiculous because there's a combo in today's world called both players playing Skystar and both playing Searching High and Low, and what do we call that, folks?
Playing chicken, basically.
Who likes playing Skystar Chicken?
Not I.
Not I.
I totally would play it. No, I probably wouldn't do it either. Even if I was running Skystar, I do not like playing Skystar Chicken. It's hilarious, but it's not worth the effort. But Skystar definitely gets out your pink entry in a way that is literally puts you in front of the curve almost instantly. Having your 7 pink rack gives you an advantage because all you need is your blue rack, and usually you'll have that in the form of, in today's world, Loyal Pony.
Not to mention, we lived in a format where Mod was ruling over for a ridiculous amount of time simply because she pushed numbers by herself within a very short time. I know I keep going back to the Mod Tyrant, but that's just to show you how cheaply it can go.
How hard aggro can, or how easy it is to play aggro depending on your deck.
Another good thing about aggro doesn't rely on needing a bunch of action tokens. So mid to late game is what you would call a, it was just explained to me by a Magic player today. It's called a bell effect, where the curve of the deck is a bell. where you have very low amounts of things that doesn't cost a lot of your action tokens for this example. So everything in the deck is small, reduces the cost of extra action tokens, and increases the fitted to the deck. Honestly, aggro decks can run a lot more cards simply for the fact that they have extra actions to 1, draw plenty of things, and 2,
Waste.
yeah, exactly what you said, just to waste.
Yeah, and in the aggro decks today, what ends up happening, what I found when I play aggro, is I'll start off like really far ahead and I'll get to like 10, 12 points. But by the time I get there, control decks are rocking their control and everything to the point where they're stopping me from being able to do much. And then they're catching up slowly but surely. You know, I might start off fast, but being able to keep up the pressure is a challenge with an aggro deck sometimes.
Not all aggro decks. We should go ahead and move on to the next one. Thorax. Thorax is one of the greatest examples of something that pushes aggro to its limit.
Yes, Thorax, and I realize that there's some people out there that would say traitor to the hive. I declare I officially approve that he is no longer a traitor to the hive. I'm sure people will disagree
that's
with
because he runs the hive.
Yes, he is the ruler of the hive. So all you Queen Chrysalis fans out there, now don't leave this stream because you'll actually learn something. But Thorax on his own is pretty powerful in and of himself. But the fact that if you put this main into a blue-yellow deck, where all your friends and everything have a printed power of 2 or less, that's your shoe shines, your loyal ponies, your night gliders, your trihorn bunyips. By the time that you
owls. Let us not forget harmony. If we could put owls in this format with that, it would be stupid.
No, it really would. Yeah, if you were gonna run blue-yellow harmony with Thorax, I would probably put in Forest Owl. Sure, flipping to 0 hurts, but what does it matter when your main in your Forest Owl is what power? 20? What? Yeah, so
the issue that you'll run into that I find a lot of the times with aggro, depending on your deck, and especially with yellow, is having those 0 to or 2 or less costs when you have a face-off. Flipping a 0 is borderline crippling, and even 1s that doesn't help you much at all, especially when it comes to face-offs. Now, if you're swarming your opponent, that may not matter. But if you're not swarming it and your opponent is out aggroing you, all you're going to do is flip a 0 and you're just going to be sad.
yeah, and this is where Thorax kind of covers up for you against other aggro decks. Thorax, what he does is that if you're up against another aggro deck and they're running something like Scootaloo or Skystar or whatever, and you have a way to get your 1/1 tokens into play by playing something like Friends Are Always There or playing a Rise and Shine, Thorax is going to be able to handle those 1 to 2 flips because when you put those 3 or 4 friends into play, well, Thorax is now a 7 power friend on top of that additional power. And this is why Thorax is a pretty good aggro main, because it can actually help you defend against pink, because it allows you to have them remove your friends but still maintain that power. So when you play something like a token, it's essentially 2 power, not 1 when you play that token to a problem.
Not to mention, one of the bigger things about pink is about removing your resources. By your resources, I don't mean literally resource. I mean the resource management and being critters and other friends. Pink has multiple cards that downright destroys the opponent's board. Yellow doesn't care. It has way more cards than you have the abilities to remove. That's one thing I like about yellow. You just can't get rid of all of it because something else is just going to replace it, and for almost nothing.
Yeah, it's one of those colors that, you know, even if you're up against a pink deck, or even if you're up against a pink-blue aggro, yellow-blue right now is a really strong combination, and making sure that you have the ability to build it properly. Now, to build a yellow...
Real quick,
Sure.
I'm going to cut you off real quick. Sorry. Before we go into proper builds, we need to look at the format real quick one more time before we start that. In our format, as we are talking about our aggro, we're going to start discussing one weakness aggro does have that I'm going to bring up right now. Our weakness is having a villain flip up and absolutely ruin everything.
Friends can't have abilities.
Like the fact that one card that costs a single action can destroy an entire outcome from the game, all the way down. And there's pretty much nothing they can do about it. Now, what we need to do is we need to start discussing exact cards for exact scenarios now, because we're being very vague, and honestly, it's kind of distracting for me. So, in a situation in which you have a Trixie that just flipped and put all of those critters face down, or got rid of all those tokens, what do you have in your deck exactly? Tell me a title of a card that can get rid of that troublemaker quickly, or make it to where within the cost of, say, 4 action tokens, we can start rebuilding the board.
Going up on the page right now is Fluttershy Pony Pirate. So, Fluttershy Pony Pirate, when she comes into play, she makes it so your opponent's troublemakers do not stop you from confronting. So,
And you don't have the ability, because that's going to be backed up.
It is going to be backed up. In order to regain your board state, one of the things you need to focus on is making sure that you have the entry to be able to recover. Now, recovering from a Trixie that just frightened all your friends is going to set you back. But even though Trixie negates the abilities, aggro isn't so much about the abilities as much as it is as getting power there.
Less abilities, more numbers. Thorax's ability matters, though.
Thorax is not impacted by Trixie highest level unicorn, and that's
True.
And that's where Thorax is going to be your best friend, because unlike Scootaloo, who will move 2 characters at the end of the turn, or even Balloona, which will bounce between 2 problems, there's a Trixie there. And in this format, when someone flips a villain, it hurts. The quickest way I have found to recover from those types of scenarios is you just lost a bunch of tokens, and if you're running something like blue-pink, you're not going to recover as fast as if you were, unless you were as quickly as blue-yellow. Because blue-yellow, you still have your main flip, let's say. You still play, your friends are always there, get 3 critters into play, and now you can get back at it. While with blue-pink, a lot of times that is a challenge, because of the fact that blue-pink is relying more on friends and so forth. So in order to recover in blue-pink, sometimes what you have to do is you have to get friends back to that problem. You're going to have to start paying 2 to rally if you need to. A card
Basically, you need to get back your forces. But this is all well and good, but sometimes you find that one scenario where that's just not enough. And that scenario comes up mid to late game where it doesn't matter. If you aren't ahead of your opponent in points, then honestly, none of this is going to get you through. It's just something that I've accepted as a fact. Going over numbers, it just doesn't add up. You would have to be able to put down, let's say you have that Trixie. You would have to be able to spend enough to get at least 7 power at the board, once again, at that card. plus the fact that they could possibly get rid of it with something that flips the problem, which anyone that's running the deck can and will do. God, what was that card's name? It's the Pinky and the Twilight that flip the problem. What's its name?
That is Pinky and Twilight Bait and Switch. Now that is going to be your pink card to really recover from a Trixie. Highest level unicorn. That is going to be your recovery in blue-pink. You are not going to be able to recover until you get that card really out of play. And your best bet is just to get that Pinky, that Bait and Switch into play. Because, or Snips and Sails. Snips and Sails wouldn't help you in that scenario. But Bait and Switch would. And that's where, getting your Bait and Switch in there to replace the problem, and this is where tech selection comes in. If you're running pink-blue aggro, you definitely want to try to put 3 Bait and Switches into your deck, because that's going to be your TM removal.
Which we, of course, are going to need. Now, on to the rest of this conversation. Let's get blue-yellow. It's definitely blue plus day shift, now that I think about it. Isn't that fun?
I know, right? Day shift is so awesome.
Care to shell out to the class what day shift does again? Plus
Sure.
Blue.
Sure. Okay, so Day Shift is a friend card from Sequestrian and Beyond. That's just a regular rare. And what it does is that, I'm sorry, I don't have an image of Day Shift at this point. I'm still working on getting all the card images. Day Shift, when a problem enters play. This doesn't matter what problem. It's just when a problem enters play. You may move...
Pause. Does this include dilemmas?
It does include dilemmas. So if you drop a T-Rex Reign of Terror or a Festival of Friendship, or someone plays a Festival Friendship setup, you are going to be able to move a character to that problem, because what Day Shift specifically says is when a problem enters play, you may move a character to that problem. I think it's move that character to that problem. So if you DFO, 2 problems get replaced. Now you move a character to that problem. And I believe that is how it works. It does not, so let's say someone plays a dilemma. You do not get 2 friends to each of those problems. It's only 2 when that problem enters play.
Makes sense.
And that card is really good right now. It keeps your friends at that problem. And E-Bugle's right. It is from home. They cannot be at the at another problem. Sorry about that, E-Bugle. Thanks for pointing that out. And that's what Day Shift does. And that's why we run it in blue-yellow. Because it keeps friends at your problems to make sure that you can continue going. Now, there's another style of deck out there that is aggro, and not a lot of people may have heard of it, but I'm going to see if I can't find the image here. Hold on one sec. I'm having trouble. Hold on.
Not a lot of people doesn't include everyone. We may have been the play group that invented it.
Okay. It's called Octavia, Standing Ovation, from the EO, Equestrian Odysseys.
And what, pray tell, does this Octavia do?
So, Octavia, when a friend enters play at a problem, you may have another character there get +2 power until end of the turn. Who likes Rarity from the new set? When it comes into play, if you control another white friend, a character gets +2 power.
So you might say that this gives you more cost entry for cheaper tokens. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, you just get a lot of power. So I play a Rarity with Octavia flipped to, let's say, my problem. My problem, let's say, requires 6 power. that rarity can, if I have my main at that problem, I can go ahead and give my rarity +2 power, then give my main +2 power.
Now, real quick, I was one of the founders for this setup deck because one league setup we did not get a deck off for any of the lists that did this, but there is an interesting combo with that Octavia that I had discovered. Do you know Close Air Support, the event card that costs 4 and creates 7 blue tokens?
I do indeed. Who needs some air support?
Now, the specifics on the card allow you to play tokens on the opponent's board as well. What you do is after you have your Octavia flipped, you go ahead and have a problem that's set up with, say, 4 to 6 power on your side, and then you go ahead and load up one side with tokens for the opponent, and then you go ahead and put the rest of them on your side, overpowering the other half with the simple ability that she has. You'll have 6 to 8 power to even 12 power with only 4 tokens. It's absolutely ridiculous. And my friend, he had the deck for a while. I built it for him for Gen Con 2016. He finally gave it back to me, but I do have the deck list. It's a Octavia along with mostly pink and blue. At that time, it would be like Hot Wings, but we called it Pegasus Explosion.
Yeah, that's brutal. So what I know about that combo is when you play that, because Octavia does not specify your friends, you can give the +2 power to an opposing character. So what you would do...
No. She does specify yours. It's Close Air Support that doesn't specify where you can put your token. That's what I was getting at.
It says you may have another character there get +2 power until end of turn. It does not specify. It does not say you may have another character. It does not specify you may have another character you control. Are you sure? Because I'm pretty sure Octavia, maybe
Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to go get the card if you don't have it up already. I have a copy.
I have it up on stream right now. Maybe the chat room will tell us exactly about that. But I'm pretty sure you can give +2 power with her to another character there. Okay. eBugle just said that Octavia is not player restricted. So I'm going to go with what eBugle says. Commentary as Magic says that Octavia is not player restricted. That means I can give +2 power to an opposing character, which makes that air support combo even more hilarious.
That is.
So I believe you were mentioning what was the rest of that combo was the whole thing.
Okay, so what you do is that air support allows you to put in 7 Pegasus tokens. Each time one of those Pegasus tokens comes in, another one of those Pegasus tokens will get +2 power from Octavia. It doesn't matter if it's on your opponent's side or whatever, so you could play a Pegasus token to... You put like 2 into play at your problem, or put 1 into play at your problem, 1 at your opponent's, and then the next Pegasus to enter play at that problem will give another character there +2 power. So you can ping them back and forth with +2 power to cause face-offs.
That sounds sickening. That's not okay. You shouldn't be allowed to do that.
I'm fine with it, simply for the fact that I can put 6 tokens on the opponent's side of the board and then put 1 on mine that's stronger than all of them. Let's see, that's 15 power?
No, 21 power total. Playing all 7 to 1 problem is 21 power.
That's hilarious. I approve 100%.
So, now... another thing, and if you go, you're right there, and even with 0 characters so far, it's pretty good. Another thing you could do is do things like put Critter Choir into your deck, which is a card. It's a yellow and white card for 4 AT. When it comes into play, you put in 2 critter tokens, and then each character gets +2 power. How would you like to buff that even further with Octavia? So you play Critter Choir. You put 2 critters into play. I give Critter Choir 2 more power to each character there, and then every character gets +2 power.
Oh, we had someone in our play group have the mono yellow Fluttershy deck using 3 of those. It was very good. I decided to go ahead and do them all yellow plus Octavia main for one. It was very similar to what we just discussed, actually.
Yeah, and that's what's happening. Is it's an aggro deck. So we kind of got a little bit off topic a little bit there. But what yellow white is, it's an aggro deck. It's designed to outpower the opponent at low cost. So you're trying to dump as much power as you can into your problems temporarily. So once the turn's over, you're going to lose all that power, but you don't care because what you want to do is continuously play things to pump up your friends to confront each turn. So this is a version, this is a little bit more complicated of a aggro deck. It requires more mathematics. It requires more foresight into the moves, because how is this friend, when I play this, going to give me that much power? And that's things that you need to consider when building your deck. Is, do I want to have it where I have movement, where I'm moving things and then I want removal with it? Or do I want to completely spam out as many friends as possible with as little cost as possible? Or do I want to be playing a medium of removal and friends that are going to have a lot of power? And that's where choosing the style of aggro can be a little tricky.
It is true, choosing the style of aggro can be a little tricky. A simple solution, just pick off from your main and build your deck around it. It's, the basic win strategy. So, for Octavia, if we want to go ahead and leave it at this, if you still want to build her, I would suggest going mono blue and just tech in some white cards, like anything that can get rid of a troublemaker. You'll set yourself up for some easy victories.
Very true. And if you would like to go more full broad, to be able to dump in a lot more power, though, I would definitely think about yellow as well. Typically, aggro-wise with Octavia, those are the 2 colors that you're going to be using most of the time. As far as teching in blue into things like Scootaloo main or Balloona, which I'm going to try to get Scootaloo up here. Okay, so Scootaloo we talked about last time. Scootaloo is a nice, easy card to get. It gives you movement at the end of the turn. You can use this in things like chicken wings, and you can use it in blue-yellow aggro. People are experimenting with it right now, even in core format. It's an effective main to keep things at problems. It has kind of a leverage over Thorax in that with it in play, after a DFO, you can get 4 characters to problems without ever really... So with Day Shift and Scootaloo, you're getting 4 after a DFO versus the 2. And that's where choosing between Scootaloo and Thorax can be a challenge, because Thorax will always have more power than Scootaloo.
Well, I don't have any commentary for this one, and neither does Zen. So, did you want to try moving on to the next one?
Yeah, sure. So we pretty much covered most of it. The last main on the list would be Balloona. Let's see if I can get a picture of her here. Trying to. Did I not put it in? Hold on. I'm having trouble. Nope, that's Octavia. Hold on, folks. I'm playing Russian roulette.
So, Zen's going to try to provide some commentary in the meantime for Balloona.
Sure, I just got her up there.
So Balloona was a very powerful ultra rare that came out a while ago. What set was it?
Hi, Magic, and hello there, Blue Fairy. Perfect timing to talk about your least favorite card. I know you don't like Balloona, so.
Now, Blue Luna is, in my opinion, the lackluster of the ones that came out for the aggro mains. Not enough love was given to the Octavia main, to be completely honest. Too many easily abusable combos were created with that card that left a lot of action tokens available. Blue Luna was basically just an onboard engine that moved by itself, but at that same time, that onboard engine that moved by itself did not do more than, at the time, mod, which was way more important. Sure, it was blue, but at the same time, paying just to move mod and then saving literally dozens of action tokens over the span of 6+ turns is still way more relevant. You simply can't outpace it. Blue Luna tried to, but I witnessed it myself. It did not do well. Honestly, Octavia did better, and so did Scootaloo. And if you wanted to say which one of the aggro mains are the best, I'm going to tap it out at the blue Scootaloo. And I'm just going to leave it at that. It's my opinion. I love Thorax in second. I love Blue Luna, and I love Mod. And I absolutely love that Applejack main that gets pluses, but that I'm not going to consider aggro fast enough.
Well, I'm gonna contradict you there. When Defenders of Equestria came out, and E-Bugle is saying it, Balloona was the aggro champ back in 2016, and when the sets Marks in Time and Defenders arrived, we got access to things like Belly Flop. We got our Princess Cadence, a 2 pink hasty friend. We got access to our Angel Wings, a blue-pink card that allowed you to pay 2 less for your next friend, and Balloona became way more relevant back after those sets were released, and Mod kind of fell by the wayside for Blue Luna. Blue Luna was not doing as well in High Magic, but once we got access to Defenders, she was way more effective, especially even when we got access to Marks in Time. We got our Thunder Lanes, some more hasty friends. Blue Luna was becoming to be devastating. When you can play a hasty friend...
I'm going to pause you there. It became popular. Devastating? No. You can look at Gen Con's listings. It did not do well, mostly because of the Tantabus combo, but Mod still won that year, I believe. Or, correction, I believe the Tantabus combo did win. Luckily, it got banned. Let's not look back on dark periods, though. Let's not look back into that.
Yes, and E-Bugle has a point here. Again, she was top aggro deck of 2016. Yes.
I can't argue it, but I still believe in Scootaloo.
I think Scootaloo is great. I personally like Scootaloo and stuff. Honestly, I find Blue Luna to be a little slow for my liking as well. But I have found that if played right, she can practically win games for you. Personally, I would rather...
Definitely.
Yeah, and I personally would prefer Thorax over both of them because I like blue-yellow aggro with Trihorn Bunyips and Night Glider. When you can score 9 points in a single turn after building up AT, that's just not right.
Well, I know it's a little early. Well, I don't know if it's early for this or not. It's 8:53 right now. I myself am gonna have to cut out here soon. So if we need anything to wrap up with myself, let me know if you need my input real quick. Okay?
Okay, so we're going to be wrapping up here, guys, in a couple minutes here. Thank you once again for all of you guys showing up, and thank you, eBugle, for attending these streams. Your input in the chat is very helpful and so forth. To end the stream on this note is when you're playing aggro, pay attention to the style of aggro you want to play, what cards to include and what tech choices. Once again, this is a general deck construction guide. We will be doing more of these. These are going to be our first Sundays of the month streams, is going to be deck construction. Next week, we will be going over Troublemaker Uniqueness Violation and how to use that
I'm
to your...
gonna have fun with that.
Oh, I think we will. Just so you know, Gaming is Magic is typically a control play group, so I'm sure people out there will be like, oh my god, control players. But we are.
I'm sorry. No, I'm not.
I'm not sorry either. So, once again, thank you for joining us, Gaming is Magic. And as always, thank you to everyone showing up. And check it out if you don't know already. In approximately an hour, Commentary is Magic is doing a stream on, I believe they're doing it on the the next con to come up, and check them out. Check out their stuff. They definitely have more videos than we do. But once again, every pony, stay nice out there and keep the harmony coming. Once again, this is Drata Arcana, and with me are
Zen Lavender.
Novaku Lulumoon.
and have a great night, every pony. Peace.